Good afternoon on what is a warm and bright afternoon. It is Tuesday, September the 21st. I'm back in the reading nook with some parcels to unbox. And the next one I'm going to unbox is this one. But of course, let's not forget I'm accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. So let's see where, okay, don't often get parcels via Prime, but let's find out. So it says tear along perforation, so let's just put a helping hand. No, it doesn't want to tear along the perforation at all, so I'm going to and what I'm pulling out is this. Okay, 40th anniversary edition, the Spawn of Fashan role-playing game rulebook by Kirby Lee Davis. It's a little bit battered, but I have a confession to make in that I've always wanted to have a look at a copy of this. I've never seen one. I've never seen one, you know, come up on auctions or anything like that on eBay. Basically one of the things I like doing anniversary reviews. So essentially, you know, a 40th anniversary review or a 30th anniversary review and the like. Now, 40th anniversary review. This came out in 1981. And I heard that there were copies floating around. Tried to reach out to via to the author, but without any luck. This popped up on Amazon, and essentially, you know, and I basically want to thank KG Pravda on Twitter for pointing this out to me, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get hold of a copy. But it was on Amazon, and it came up and basically went, oh, wait, that's inexpensive. I'll have that. And it's even cheaper and it was really cheap to actually get shipped here to the UK. So I was really surprised. So, 40th anniversary edition of what is purportedly one of the worst role-playing games, or most notorious role-playing games ever published. You know, because I like role-playing games, I like role-playing games in general. Whether they're good or bad, if they're bad, they're interesting. Okay? So, 40th anniversary. On September 3rd, 1981, the Spawn of Fashan role-playing game made its debut at the Denvention 2 World Science Fiction Convention in Denver. Though only 17 copies were sold, magazine reviews ripping, roasting and praising the rulebook turned Spawn into a global mystery and industry phenomenon. After 4 decades of limited or no availability, creator Kirby Lee Davis released his 40th anniversary edition, presenting the Spawn of Fashan in its original format, along with the forward to the 1988 reprints, a new look at the game's humorous history, a long missing table of contents and index, and other examples of the author's singular wit. So this is a role-playing game rulebook from Fashan Books from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So there we go. There's the back. And this is essentially, this is literally just released because essentially this is all but hot off the press, 4th anniversary book edition, published September 2021. So yeah, all right, quick. And we've got an introduction here. Essentially, 2 score, and it's interesting here. Okay, 2 score and a year ago or so, I made a series of brash, entrepreneurial, academic choices. These moves released upon the world what the Dragon magazine called the worst role game of all time and the industry's best spoof. Others labelled my creation the beloved game of Munchkins everywhere, though I have yet to see one playing it. I didn't learn this humorous title for almost 2 decades until other, more rational entrepreneurs gave us the World Wide Web. By then, the Spawn of Fashan had sprouted myths and legends that thrive today. So, yeah. so we've got a complete guide to essentially the game's foundation, the creation there. That's quite lengthy, and how the legends began, and it takes it all the way up to his basically his decision to bring it back. And he's got a blog. I didn't know he had a blog, so I'm going to have a look at that. And then we get into an update to the 1988 version. Again, not seen that. First couple of pages, and then we get into the reprint itself. And I'm really looking forward to digging into this, because if it's as terrible as it's purportedly to be, oh god, that's going to be fun to write about. So the layout is yeah, kind of, you can see it's someone basically doing the first layout, organising it the best they can. It's very dense. I mean, just look at that. That's not going to be exactly entertaining to read, I will admit. Then interesting here is essentially, you know, section V, movement in the real world. We've got terms used: advantage, tech level, fatigue, initiative, luck rolls, movement, senses, and so on. Tables and charts used. That's a nice touch, actually. You know, you basically got here's the things you're going to need to refer to or get used to using in the text. Yeah. So yeah, it's even down to we have sort of like basically reprints of some of the basic dirt and marks from the original text there. And this gets more complex, because essentially you've got the art of combat, and again a bigger list of things you need to refer to. Makings of a campaign, philosophy and rules developing the map. Again, really kind of dense in terms of what's in here. Yeah, tables. Section 7, tables and charts. Again, the thing is I actually just don't really have anything really interesting here to show you. Essentially, except just how dense this book is. The statistics chart. Yeah. I mean, so basically, this kind of comes from a time when, you know, there was a push for complexity, and the idea behind this push for complexity, essentially, we are talking sort of like the end of the 70s and the beginning of the 80s. The push for this complexity is to be more realistic. It didn't always work. I mean, you know, so that so you had things like chivalry and sorcery, and basically, and you know, this Spawn of Fashan, pushing in their own way for greater realism, and the result would be greater complexity. And you know, that's understandable, sort of like mostly as a reaction to the number one role-playing game at the time, and there's number one role-playing game today, which is Dragon. We have basically we have tables for penetration, that's for bladed weapons, extraordinary combat table, basically a page devoted to explaining a table. And there's not a lot of artwork, they're very dense. It's one of the main things interesting is tracking down previous reviews of this to read and see what it says, and in particular to find that issue of Dragon with the poor opinion of it. And even if you can hear that dog here whining and howling there, he's probably got an opinion and he's not even seen the game. So yeah, there we have a map of the region of Boozle. Not quite sure what to make of that, but this is going to be quite a dense thing to get into. And the character sheet, which essentially, there's the front, and then we get into weapons and more. There's quite a lot in here. and then we have endnotes and so on. And there's an index. This is obviously, this is very much a later edition. So yeah, list of tables and charts at the end, and yeah, and so yeah, he's even got a website, kirbyleedavis.com. There we go. Go and have a look, see if you can track down a copy, and find out just how terrible it is for yourself. I will be doing a review of this year. I've got no choice because essentially this came out in 1981. It's 40 years old, as the name suggests. And again, thank you to KG Pravda on Twitter. Without this, without your mentioning it, I wouldn't have seen it. I really appreciate that. It's very helpful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reviewing what is supposedly the worst role-playing game ever published, or at least one of them, because there are a couple of other contenders which you don't want to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about those. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do hit the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those, and I do respond. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me with some parcels, okay, and a game which basically which I will unbox and then talk about for the best and extent of my knowledge, for roughly 10 minutes, all accompanied, of course, by a nice hot cup of tea. Do please hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thank you once again for watching another unboxing in the Nook, and I hope you'll join me in the near future for another unboxing. Bye for now.